Here I am, Leon C, aka Morpheus. I'm going to get right into it. Save time, right into the subject. Dear Morpheus, I was once married to a man that was very abusive to me and extremely controlling. I want to get back into a new relationship and at least try it all over again. But the problem is, I am afraid of that abuse happening again. I have trouble trusting men for what I have been through. But since you are endowed with knowledge, can you explain to me and to others how we can avoid this abuse and how this abuse is happening so I can heal myself and begin to start all over again? Love your book. Love your channel. You are saving lives one day at a time. Good luck. How sweet. This is a very important video because people have a hard time understanding. Now, for anyone who have been into the military, okay, or for any person who is going through these type of abuses, for anyone who might be in the condition of what I'm getting ready to discuss, I have to do this for my American people. She is not the only one who have emailed me this. It has been numerous people to email these requests and these concerns. I have to do this for them because I have to help my people. I have to help America. I have to provide a solution and support to empower my American people, which is you and all of you. So you need to hear what I have to say, because it's not just for her, as she have understood how this channel works, is that I am amplifying her concern to reach you. Now, let's start with the basic facts. We are talking about abuse here and how it happens, how it starts, and how it can stop. Okay? Violence is not the way to stop violence, unless it's a case of self-defense. But we're going to get down to the basic of the detailed description of what it is so you can identify it before it gets out of control against you, or if you're in that situation, or if you just may be that person who is doing the abuse. Now, this is not sexual abuse. This is physical abuse. This is abuse of the person outside of any other mean. Okay? One of the obvious abuses that is occurring in the American construct. Now, there is a thing for a lot of you who are aware, it's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay? From usually people who have been in the military or who have came out of the force or who is dealing with drama every single day. Because it's not limited just to military people. Okay? It affects even normal civilians at home, depending on how dramatic their environment, how dramatic the children who are envisioning or witnessing these things every day, and how dramatic the person is and where they are come from. Because it's based on the situation that you might be in. Okay? The one thing that you have to comprehend that I'm going to give you first, I'm going to go ahead and give you this red pill. Go ahead and take that red pill there. Okay? I already had mine, so I'm fired up and ready to go. Okay, is sometimes even in the reforming of someone who have came back from the military, there is still residual data there in their whole anatomy that cannot be forgotten. There are some things that people go through in the military, or through under other countries, or through poverty, or through a dramatic environment or town or block that you can't forget. There's things that you cannot forget that stays in your mind, and it's a part of yourself that cannot be wiped away through therapy. Therapy maintains it to a degree, but it doesn't completely wipe it away. Okay? And that therapy helps that person to control themselves and to deal with whatever case of PTSD they may have. Because you can't wipe away your memory. Okay? Now, here's the thing. And I wrote down a lot of these researches and these ideas to give back to you. The problem with a lot of people who come from heavy environments like that they're used to negative. They're used to drama. They're used to carnage, to devastations, to bloodshed being done in front of them. Okay? So those dramatic situations which changes the humanity of that person itself and gives them a different reflection of reality that changes their perspective on how they deal with the outside world whenever they come from that area to the non-dramatic, non-warlike situation. Now, the reason why I have to give this to you because I need you to avoid abuse. I want you to avoid abuse. I am giving you help to avoid it and to be aware of how it happens. Now, let's tell you in the worst case scenarios and in the light case scenarios how it happened. Let's talk about the worst case scenarios, and then we're going to bring about how it could become where a lot of people who come from a militaristic background or paramilitary background, okay, or a dramatic environment, okay, where at time it may seem like they are reformed to deal with a non-dramatic society or non-dramatic environment, okay, but that PTSD is still there, but it's a seed like residual data that it requires a consecutive amount of time in order for it to blossom and become full-blown PTSD and really get that person geared to be back in their attack mode. Okay? That's the dangers that I want you to avoid and to be aware of, just in case those people or yourself might have that condition. Because my channel is about empowerment. My channel is about prevention. My channel is your channel about empowering you. As you always invest here, I invest there. Okay? And I always have to say this. Thanks for my usual followers and you who have donated to this channel and who have been supporting my research and asking questions so I can give back unto you in this broad array to support you. Okay? We are together as a family, and that's what we need to be doing here in America. Okay? You want to be careful to not associate yourself. Listen. And this is how it happens. First, it starts like this with a person who doesn't respect your humanity or your sensible nature. And the reason why is because they will mechanize your life. They will make you to be a machine. And you know Morpheus, I'm against machines. Okay? They will try to make you out to be a computer machine that you are not, because that's what they are used to. I have come across people who have come out of the military, okay, and they bring their military idea, okay, thinking that there's still things flying and destruction and all the issues that they have had to deal with, and they bring it here. And they get into these corporations, or they get into these areas, or they get into the nonviolent civil arena, and they think they're still out there in the war field. And the way that they will come at you, and from experience, the way that they have came at me is, you should do this, and this is going to be that way, whether you like it or not, and I don't like it, and we're going to have to do this that way, that has to be done that way. And at the end of the conversation, when you analyze it with your intelligence and your instincts, you begin to realize that that person really wants you to be a machine. That's their thinking. You are not a machine. You are a human person. First abuse. Listen. The first abuse is when someone tries to attack your humanity by trying to think that you are so perfectly in tune and need to be so perfectly in tune, where you end up thinking or feeling forced to put your nature aside and act like you're a machine. When you bleed, you get sick, you have your bad days, you have your days where you're sleepy, you have your days where you need to eat, okay? And you got children that you need to take care of, and you got a personal life and home that's important, okay? Those type of people, and I'm going to get to it in a little bit, still have in their mind that you are prepared behind I can't say it on this channel, but a machine propeller, okay, and you are in the midst of the swamp or the forest, and you're getting attacked by a barrage of assailants, let's just say, okay? They're still thinking that in their mind, whereas my American people, when you're in a corporation, or you're working at a warehouse, or you're in an office setting, or even at a grocery store, just, selling or buying food, okay, that's not the situation nor the setting for you to think that you are in a war field and treat everybody as if they have to have several stripes on and stand at the door and say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. When you do that, okay, that's a disrespect to your humanity and your nature, because that's what causes you to have PTSD. That's what causes you to have stress, and it's a disorder. It is a disorder. That's why they call it that. Okay. So that's why you want to avoid those people. Okay. And those who seem to be reformed, which is fine, but you still want to keep in your mind these several steps. And it's not a bash on anyone who have came out of that situation. That's not it. Just like there's a general factor with everywhere that you go, there are some people who have successful reformation. There are some people who are sensible people who leave their paths behind. There are some people who have changed their life. There are some people who do change over a segment amount of years. There are people who learn their lesson. There are people who are as sensible as you and I. Okay. Again, this is for prevention. It's not a bash to say, oh, all military people are bad. No. That's not what Morpheus is saying. That's not what she's saying. She asked me, how do we avoid abuse, and how and why is it happening for not only her, but everybody else who might in this situation? Because someone comes in, they begin to take your humanity away and replace you by telling you that you are a machine, and you're not a machine. Morpheus is here to save you from being a machine. Now, this is how it starts. First, they will start implementing control over you some kind of way. Control the bills, control the house, control your children, control what you say. Now, there's a degree. Now, I'm not going to get to the detail here because this is not what this video is for, because we don't have a lot of time for that. Suggestions are different when you're in a marriage and a relationship. Boyfriends don't want you to dress a certain way. They want you to do this, or they feel this way. That's just suggestion. When you're in a relationship, you got to compromise. You got to sacrifice the same as what he would do. Okay, that's different. When we talk about real control, that means control is like this, ladies and some men, is not giving you a chance whatsoever to produce your opinion or why you are doing anything. Control is no matter what you are doing or for whatever reason whatsoever, regardless if it is good or bad, okay, they are reframing you, period. That's what control is. Control is an iron grip. Get that through your mind, okay? It's not because Morpheus may say, oh, baby, no, don't walk out of the house with that dress on. You ain't got to do that because that's revealing too much. You know, that's my goods, okay? Just put something else on. Put something modest on, baby, because that's my body. You know, I appreciate that. I don't want my goods out there where every blue pill beta dude can look at it. Man, it's supposed to be for my own zone. This is exclusive relationship. This is exclusive relationship. She'll say something like, oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, I just want you to put on something different, okay? Just, respect me that I care about you. I adore you. So I want to treat you with, I want to keep you protected. You mine. Okay. That's not controlling. That's actually suggesting and requesting what could be beneficial not only to me, but to the relationship to keep us flourishing. Okay. And also to let the world know that she's off limits. Okay. When she's keeping herself modest and together. Now, when you get some girls to say, oh, I can dress anywhere I want to. You're trying to control me. Yeah, you can't control me. I can dress wherever I want to dress. She has a misconception of what control is, because it's not control that's the problem with her, with that type of girl. Those type of female are narcissistic. Those type of women are actually trying to go out there and get attention because they're used to not doing everything that they want to do. No. Because they have a plan, you see, that this continual string of her getting attention every day, getting the wrong attention from the wrong type of guys, and pretending as if she's single, and pretending as if she don't want to be exclusive with her boyfriend or husband, or in reverse, him being exclusive with her. So she wants to remain being non-exclusive with you. She wants to continue her poisonous energy and attraction to other people, okay, while being with you. So she wants her cake and she wants to eat it too. She wants to be single, but she wants to be in a relationship and treat you as a backup plan. So those are the two differences, okay? So yes, she will say something like, oh, you trying to control me. Stop trying to control me. And the baby, no, I'm not trying to control you. We're in a relationship. Relationship. Relay. Here, there. Shunship. Okay? Those type of girls too. Just, don't even mess with them. Just take them go like that. I don't think so. You don't need that. Okay? Just wash your hands and move on, because she's planning on doing something behind your back until you find out after you break up and the child's not yours, or that guy who's been standing next to her the whole time and she's been going out to dress up for, to look sexy for, okay, has been with her while she was with you for 12 years, okay? But let's get past it. Went on rant. The second thing is verbal abuse. That means they begin to say whatever they want to do, regardless of how it hurts you. I'm talking to you. Listen, this is the stages before it gets worse. I'm telling you how you can visualize abuse and see it with your consciousness and avoid it with these steps that you see to stop it at step number 1, meaning trying to dehumanize you. That's step number 1, which is actually step number 0, which should be zero tolerance. Respect your humanity and respect your nature. Respect your flaws. Respect that you're not perfect. Respect that you have your own responsibilities first. Okay? Now, so again, I could say the second, but I'm gonna say number 0 was to disrespect your humanity and your flaws. I'm gonna say number 2 is control. Now I'm gonna say number 3 is verbal abuse. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay? If you're writing this down. The verbal abuse, again, is to say whatever they want to say. They don't hold back. They just hurt your feelings. They put you down. They say anything that can stab you or come at you in any direction and to debase you. So they verbally abuse you to lower your self-esteem and your self-consciousness. Okay? That's another form of abuse. Now, number 4, listen. They start abusing power. That means they start using the abuse of power. That means whatever power that person have, whatever authority that person have, whatever office setting that they're in, or it could be a military individual, it could be an officer, it can be someone of a power dynamic. Okay, they will start abusing that power to get what they want from you. After they dehumanize you, after they start controlling you, you see that? After they start verbally abusing you, now they start abusing the power to push their weight on you, to persuade you to do what they want you to do. Okay? And that happens to the individual from individual from individual from individual. Okay? And again, this video is not directed at a group or is not pointing my finger at anybody. This is for everyone who's in this situation, and it's for everyone who's actually doing that to other people to realize that they're doing it and don't know it. So they start abusing the abuse of power. It's number 4. So you got to think about that. Start abusing power that they should not be using in a wrong way to get what they want. Okay. Now, number 5, they start disrespecting and abusing your freedoms as a human being. What that means is now they start restricting you where you can go, what you can do. They start putting boundaries around you and saying that, oh, you have to do this at this certain amount of time. Because listen, again, ladies and gentlemen, remember what I said in the beginning about control. There's a difference. There's a real big difference between somebody saying, no, you shouldn't go out at night because it's dangerous, or don't go to that store because there was a shooting last week or something like that, or don't go there because I feel and you feel that it's not a good place to be because it's not good for our relationship. They're not controlling you. They're not restricting you when they say that. Okay. They're trying to protect you and say, no, this is not good for you to do. Okay. So keep that in mind. When I talk about this in general as in whole, listen, I'm talking about regardless of the reason, even if there's a good reason that you may have to do it, they're still saying no. Okay. I'm talking about putting boundaries around there for no good reason at all. Just doing it because they want to do it, not because it's going to hurt you or because it's a benefit to you. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So when you get in this situation when they're disrespecting you, by disrespecting and abusing your freedoms is the same as abusing your humanity and your nature. Okay, because that's already where it started first. As I told you, number 0 to 1 to 2 to 3, and now we're on 5. Okay, 5, which is again disrespecting and restricting you by abuse of your freedoms. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind. And there is a difference. There's always a difference between people that are just trying to help you and you got logical sense and intelligence, say, okay, I understand, versus someone who just says, don't go there because I said you're not going to go there because I don't want you to go there, and don't give you any reason, and I don't want no lip. Don't give me your explanation as to why you want to go there. I said no because I say no because I said no. Now you have abuse of your freedom. Okay. Now, number 6. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. Because you have allowed them to go so far through 0 to 5, now they have free range in their mind to start abusing you physically, because they learned how to abuse you. Because first, number 0, they abused and mechanized your life by abusing your humanity. Number 1, they started taking control over you and implementing control for no reason. You hear me? For no reason. And started implementing control. There's always a reason. If there's a good reason, then yeah, protection and all this, yeah. But for no reason. But there was a reason. It was because that little bitty PTSD, that little bitty, we gotta, oh my God, is growing. Listen. And then, of course, number three, the verbal abuse, because now they know they can. You don't talk back. You don't handle it differently. You don't deal with them correctly. You don't, listen, don't get emotional with emotional. Get logical and sensible. Don't get emotional with emotional. Get logical and sensible. Don't get emotional with emotional. Be logical and sensible. Deal with them with facts. While they're sitting up there getting mad and rah, 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 be like, okay, that's good. However, it says here, and it would be better there because it makes sense like that. If you don't like it, that's your problem. You deal with it like that, okay, is the best way to battle that situation. Dealing with a situation which is already emotionally hot with more emotional fire causes both of y'all to be out in the middle of the street scrapping, okay? You don't do that. That's why when you let somebody get as irate as they want to be, you stand there and you deal with it with calm and sensible thinking. That way you'll be aware of what to say and how to control yourself to prevent yourself from going at it. Just be calm. Okay? Now, I got to go down the path again so y'all can remember. Okay? So number 4. Then the abuse of the power follows because all the rest of them have already been done. Now they start abusing their own power or whatever power you have. They take your power and give it to themselves and start abusing you with it. That's policies, that's rules, that's whatever that's in that area or whatever's going on at home. Or because they say, I'm your wife, so I can do you like that. Or I'm your husband, so I should be able to do this because I'm your husband. Okay? That's not a good enough excuse. Just because you're her husband, you still don't need to abuse your power as husband to do whatever you think you want to do. Same as just because you're her wife, that doesn't mean that you have to abuse her or you abuse yourself as being his wife, thinking that you have the right to abuse him and take from him and to hurt him because you think just because you're his wife, you can do it. There's a boundary line because there's still a human person and you still have a range of what you can do, what you should not do. And just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it all the time. Do you understand? Okay. Now, and then of course, number 5, like I said, they disrespect and abuse your freedoms, which now means they got you in a box and they're holding you there. You can't move. Like, yeah, I got this person. They're holding you there. Okay? Right? But for no reason. They're just holding you there because they can. Because they're used to what? Control. Okay? Now, let's get back to what I was talking about. Now I can talk about it. Because now they can abuse you physically. That's number 6. That's when the physical abuse happened. Boom. Knock you down the stairs. Now they start grabbing you. Now sometimes even the wife, just because she thinks she can, just because she thinks she's a female, she start opening up her hands and slapping you. No, because abuse is abuse. She is just as wrong for opening up her hand and slapping her husband, the same as her husband was to open up his hand or the back of his hand and slap her. It works the same way. She shouldn't be doing it and he shouldn't be doing it as well. Okay. But when all these things already have happened to you, okay, then it's going to get to that point. It's an inevitable thing because they already felt like, oh, I can control them. I verbally abused them. I took away their freedom. Now, if they don't do what they want, if they don't do what I want them to do, okay, I'm going to roll up this newspaper like you a dog and I'm going to smack you on the head because I said, do it. Number 7, ladies and gentlemen, listen to Morpheus when I'm telling you this. Listen, please like and subscribe this. Take this and give it to as many people as you can, and those who you may think is abusing or those who you think is being abused. Because this is where the problem is. This is what can decrease the crime. This is what would give our American people a sense of consciousness. Listen, how it happens. Now you got all 6 of them out of the way, right? And you wrote this down. I hope you did. Number 7. Then the death threats happen. Now they talking about, oh, I'm a bury you, or oh, I'm gonna do, you don't do that. Oh man, I wish he would, but okay, I can't say it on this channel, and I'm not going to, but you understand what I'm saying. Now they start threatening. Now you sitting on the couch, and they're saying stuff that it's probably going through one ear and out the other, but they're saying it, and you think it's just, oh, they would never do it. Oh man, I could eliminate her. You know the word with K. Or, oh, I wish I can eliminate him. He just gets on my nerve. If I could just eliminate him, right? Okay. So these verbal things start happening, and they start entertaining that thought because they've already gone past every single other avenue. They already did everything else. So now they're entertaining the thought. Now, not only is it our rolled newspaper, you're going to do what I told you to do, and boom, right in the back of your head. Yeah, boom, I told you to because you don't want to listen to me. What? I told you not to go there. You want to go there anyway? Right? They already did all that. Now it's up here in their mind, oh, maybe I should just eliminate them. Because that abuse goes further. Now listen to me. Number 8 is what y'all need to comprehend. Okay? Because y'all see it every day on the news. We have watched it all the time. Okay, sometimes you can't even wake up in the morning with the newscaster telling you that there was somebody in a forest somewhere, somebody's wife that was found, a couple of months later, or somebody's husband that was found some couple of months later, or something like that. And you trying to say, well, how did this happen? I don't get it. Why are they doing this? Because Morpheus just told you. I told you how it happens. It starts from number 0 and it goes all the way down here. Now, there's other steps. There's other steps, trust me. But these are the most punctuated, loud signs that you can see. But we placate them. But I'm going to get to that in a moment of how you're able to see these signs and not even realize it. Okay? Number 8. Then I'm going to go to that. Number 8 is then they execute what they have thought about in their mind. God, I want to eliminate them. I want to get rid of them. And eventually, with enough stress, because the PTSD is already in full blown, because they already in that struggling mindset, they already enough under a lot of corporate pressure or just financial pressure or pressure of the environment, whatever it is. Okay. So therefore, the execution of their plan of wiping you off the plate or the table at a higher percentage. And if you've been watching the news, it happens. That's how it happens. It's not an overnight thing. Yeah, you've heard cases where it's from 1 to 8 overnight. It's stage 1 to 8, like that. Yes, it happens. Okay. Yeah, there may be a situation where you may not know that the person's like that, and they just, all cool, and they love you. They act like they love you. They talking good and spending time with you. The next thing, well, that happens. Okay, not to say that it don't happen, but a lot of things. Listen, remember in my other video what I told you? Things just don't happen. Okay, it's in consecutive order how it happens. It starts from one stage before it gets down here of signs that we have not saw because we're too much in love with that person. So we accept them verbally disrespecting you. Okay. We have some type of financial bond with that person where we're afraid to say no. Are we afraid to say, I want a divorce? Are we afraid to say, I can't do it because I can do better? Because you've been with that person for 14 years, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever years. So you're able to handle, in your mind, them having control fits, saying, no, I just don't want you to do it because I just don't want you to do it. Or verbally abusing you and disrespecting you, hurting your feelings okay, are hurting you verbally instead of trying to uplift you and motivate you every day. Say, yeah, baby, that's how you do that thing. Yeah, I like that. You know, you looking good. And yeah, you know, that's my girl. You know, that's my dude. I support him. You know, yeah, baby, you doing okay. That's a nice shave. You looking nice, baby. You looking good. Don't worry about it. Go on out there and come back home to mommy. You know, instead of saying that, it's always something negative and nagging, always something negative. Okay, so you bring that person down and you verbally abusing them without touching them. You just attacking them. You ain't no good. Go outside and make yourself useful. I love it when you leave the house. I can't stand you. I wish I would never met you. Why I gotta go through this? I wish I never came home to you. So he walks out of the house and his head is abused and bruised with your abuse. Same as him, that he can do the same thing to her. Just but you tolerate it because financial contract. You got married to the guy or the girl. Okay? You got kids by them who might be 18, 17, 12, 8, 3 years old. So you tolerate it. You can deal with it. You think you can. But it's abuse nonetheless. It's still them standing you up, say, stand still. Stand still. Stand still. Yeah, and you, oh, okay. I love you anyway. I can take it. I'll be back when I come home in 8 hours. But you're not realizing it's still abuse. And so, of course, the freedoms start being encroached on. Listen, where you're not paying attention to how they're cutting corners on you and saying, you should do this because I said you should do it. And you can't go there, even though you know you've been doing it before you met that person and you've been doing it when you met that person. Or it's good for you and it's not hurting her or him and it's not hurting y'all. It's just they just don't want you to do it because they just don't want you to do it. But it's your freedom to do it. But they take that away from you anyway. Okay, and you say, oh, well, I'll deal with it. Maybe it's a sacrifice that I made by getting in a relationship with this person. Or maybe it's a sacrifice. Listen, it could be your daddy or your mommy. Yes. Yes, it can. It can also be your daddy or your mommy. It can be your father or your mother that can also be a PTSD agent. That's right. Yes. They can also do the same thing to the kids. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to say that the high percentage of why these kids or these grown adults now are acting the way that they are acting is because of the abuse of the parents. You can't do this. I said do that because what? You don't want to do it? You don't want to do it? You don't, what I say? What did I say? Hey. Verbally, which is one of the number one things here in America that you know of, that I know of, that we have witnessed, and according to my other video, I can't think of what it is. I got so many videos, okay? But I remember me talking in the video how single mothers without a father or a mother at home, daddy at home, who's going through a case of stress and struggle, has a tendency, because she can't really be physical with her kids. Most times women aren't physical with their kids, but they can definitely be verbally damaging to that child. And I've actually witnessed that myself, where the mother would just talk down at the child. I told you to, you motherfucker, you lie. I done told you. Sit your down. I'm gonna beat your. Just really getting into that child to the point where a child is like, don't know what to do. And every time you see the child around the mom, the child is like, scared to even breathe, scared to even smile and laugh. I've seen it, and y'all seen it. The child's scared to even be a child because this mom, okay, is just rah, 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 rah. And then that child grows up. What does the child do? The same thing. So the boy becomes abusive and aggressive, okay, and the girl who's grown by that single mom who wants to verbally abuse her. Oh, you ain't nothing but I don't want you to grow up and be a hoe, but you look like you acting like a right now. Okay, and she grows up and she does just that. And it happens over and over again. Okay? Anyway. So again, those freedoms go overlooked. The child's freedom, if you want to put that in there, goes overlooked. I don't care because I'm the parent. You can't do it because I'm the parent. Because I say so. The child's like, why, mommy? Because I'm mommy. That's it. That's mothers, that's not a good enough excuse. That child has to know why so they can learn something and say, oh, it's for your good. Or it's muddy and icy out there right now. Wait for a couple of hours and you can go. Right? Saying, oh, I just because I'm your mom. No, you can't do it. That's not. I'm frustrated. I'm going through my cycle on the month. Okay, so I'm just going to just fight everybody because I'm going through something emotionally and I'm just damaging everybody and I don't care. So you're going to do whatever I want you to do because I'm the mommy, or in some cases, I'm the daddy of the house. You're going to do what I tell you to do. But what you don't know you're doing, what you're really doing to that person or child or people in the house, you're, oh, verbally. That's what you're doing. And then, of course, you have the physical, which really tells you. Now, I hate to say this on YouTube, but it's true that I am for disciplining the child. Children need discipline. Yes. Because if you do not train your child at home, listen to what Morpheus is saying. There's a difference between abuse and discipline. Child does wrong, their head should be their face should be in the corner, meaning timeout. That means timeout. Okay? That means they stand in the corner with their hands there and they can't play with their toys. You take their toys away. Some type of punishment for their activities. Okay? Some kind of discipline has to happen. Because if you don't do it as the number one law at home, as the number one judge at home, as the number one officer of authority at home, when that child turns 18, because they don't know anything about authority, they don't know anything about what they should do and what they should not do, because you let them do everything they want to do, when they get out here on the streets, the court system, the other peer pressures, the officers got a job to do, okay? And every other person who is not affiliated with your child is not going to treat your child like you will. 9 times out of 10, the way that they will discipline your child is going to be at least on basic 2 times worse. Just the basic 2 times worse. Or even more than what you could ever do to your child at home when you're telling them, do your homework, eat your vegetables, clean up your room, brush your teeth, okay, or go outside and cut the grass, or you won't be able to play video game type of thing, which is very light discipline. Standing in a corner is very light discipline. If y'all ever paddled your child on the buttocks, if you ever did that, okay, listen to what I'm saying. That's very light discipline compared to if they go out there and they think they can rob a grocery store and get these rubber pellet guns and think they can play rubber gums with the real officers, and some of the officers may think it's real, okay? The discipline that they will receive for that action, okay, is nothing compared to, or ever compared to, your paddling. They live off of paddling. In that situation, their chances of survival is almost 0. Thanks be to some officers who are trained to see the difference between a fake gun and a real gun, okay? But sometimes even the trained mind, if it looks like a gun, okay, you got to suspect that it is. But who's at fault for telling that child, you can do whatever you want to do? I will never discipline you. Go out there. The world is yours. And they have to realize the hard way through the discipline, listen, of the environment to tell them, no, you can't do that. But it's not going to be a pop on the hands. Okay. It's not going to be a smack in the mouth. Okay, it's not going to be a pinch in the leg. It's not going to be a I take your toys away from you. It's not going to be a you can't spend time with your friends idea. No, the detriment of the discipline of the environment completely demolishes. You get that? Anyway, I went on a rant on that, but I had to put that there for some of you. Okay. So I had to bring that down to the physical abuse. So there's a difference. Now, abuse is if you're just doing it because you're emotionally doing it, you're just beating up and fighting. Everybody knows what abuse is, okay? There's a difference between that versus discipline, okay? If a child ever used to be paddling, okay, that wasn't abuse. It's called paddling and discipline, okay? When you remove the paddling and then you just, you didn't do right, of course, that's abuse, okay? That's just common sense, right? You should know that. So I don't have to say that. But anyway, bringing that to the adult realm, when that has something to do with you as a wife or as a girlfriend or as a husband or as a boyfriend, and the woman thinks that, oh, I got the stake to back me up, and if you hit me, I'm going to call the police, so I'm going to punch you because I can, and you will never punch me back. That's abuse. And if she ever went that far, gentlemen, it's because you have allowed step 0 to step 6 and did nothing about it. So she feels bold enough to say, okay, yeah, I don't care if you 230 pounds and you are muscular. I'm just a little girl, but you know what? I can call just like that. But since I got this right here, I'm a pow. And you, yeah, I ain't gonna hit her back, man. She's a woman, man. I'm just gonna, that's my girl, man. And that's how we play, man. We fight like that, man. I still love her. She's just kind of crazy like that, man. She kind of crazy, but that's just what she do. And you allow it to happen, not knowing that that is abuse. Because still, women like that, I don't care how small they are, okay? On the news, little bitty women have been taking out giants for years in several ways by lying or going in the kitchen and get something to penetrate you in your fortress. So you still have a worry and you still have the responsibility of stopping this thing at 0, regardless of what it looks like. You cannot take a chance. Okay, so I know I went on a rant with it, and this keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on because it's happening all the time. So the red pill is this, as you've got not to allow your emotions and your illogical thinking, because you so behooved with the person, to get past your thinking faculties of these specific signs. And there's other signs as well, like drinking, okay? Trying to hold down the beast or the monster within, or even drug intake where a person needs this certain type of drug every day. I don't care what type of drug it is. And you know that if they don't have it, sometimes some people, if they don't have their cigarette, they're evil. They'll verbally abuse you because they don't have their nicotine fit. So they will sit up there, oh, you mother, I don't care, I don't want it. They just rah, 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 rah. They just really giving it to you, giving you a hard time because you know they need their cigarette. They need that. Okay? That's still abuse. But that's also trying to hold down the monster that's really within themselves. Where over time, given the certain circumstances, that little bitty seed, yes, will start growing. And it grows in another way that I'm going to teach you as well before I end this audio log, this video here, okay? A damaging lifestyle, making bad decisions, okay? Making bad financial choices, a dirty house, maybe even a dirty body, who knows? Making excuses for everything, not focusing on their task at hand, not being the leader or not taking responsibility at home or even on the job as they should, and causing chaos and disorder in many forms and fashions, okay, Whereas those are significant signs of that internal negative seed that in some cases is PTSD, or also some cases are just the stress or just the disorder that they've been having from being beat up by their parents all their life. And now that they're adults, doesn't mean they didn't grow up. It just means they still have that residual data back here that you just can't forget. So that should answer you, my emailer, and I'm sure you're going to get this video, and it should support and help other people who might be in the same situation. Okay? And it's not limited to anyone, and it's not an attack on anyone. Okay? It's that these things are happening because there is a root of it that we're just constantly ignoring. Okay? And we think that everything's going to be okay. And to put the cherry on top of this cake in this video is because here in America, we are living a very toxic, unnatural lifestyle that has become common by the acceptable conditions in the environment. So now that America is sick, now that she is sick with unnatural behaviors, she is producing children who have been condoned and prepped to be destroyers of natural, real natural and simple values that we didn't fight hard enough to keep. If you didn't understand what I just said, rewind that and start all over again. Okay? Because this is to empower you and to prevent you from even witnessing somebody else in the situation, or you thinking about what you doing to somebody else and don't know it, or you being in that same situation and saying, wait a minute, I need to get out of this. Yes, you do. Because a lot of women and a lot of men thought that from 0 to 8, everything was going to be fine. 8 comes real fast. And by that time, before you know you at 8, okay, you are on the missing list. Morpheus doesn't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that for your future children. You don't want that for no one else. So as you know, you have received the red pill. More power to my American family. This is Leon C., as you know, aka Morpheus. Like it, share it, subscribe it, save a few lives, help a few people. Get that book down there that I have available for you. 2020 America Rise or Fall Hard. That way you can have some substance to read and others can read it and share it. And get some real knowledge that can support your American power. That is for you.